Happy Easter. Roger's arrived and he's bought an Easter hamper from my mum. Bless her, it's full of all my favourite things. So in celebration of Easter, here are some very cute ducklings. Even the pigeons have had babies. Venturing forth without their mum. She called them and they rushed to her. Thank goodness for that. I haven't got any swan and duck food because Roger is bringing it. But they're eating porridge oats all right. They look pretty new, those. Hatched today, maybe. They're doing very well at eating oats. I like the way they feed themselves unless their mother's near, and then they expect her to feed them. Morning all! You join Jen and myself. We're going backwards. And we're going backwards because Jen needs diesel and gas. I thought I'd top up with diesel because I can. And the Aqua Vista Marina isn't open for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. So we are reversing to a little boatyard just down the canal a bit. I've got all Jen's receptacles on the front of the boat so she can fill up with gas and diesel and whatever. So we're just having a little reverse. Good, eh? It's dead easy on my boat because I've got bow thrusters so I can steer from the front. Bit wiggly, but we can do this. Through the bridge, past the boats, and we've done it. As you can see, Charlie is completely terrified about the whole experience. How you doing, Teddy mate? You all right? Backwards under a little bridge. little squirt of bow thruster, and off we trundle. Birds are in fine fettle today. Disappointing. Just reversed all the way and they're shut, even though it says open at 10 o'clock. So off we go and buy diesel another day. Oh well, it was a good idea. Never mind. So back to where we started. Now heading off to get nearer the Wigan flight so we can walk up and down and have a little look. And I want a bit of solar, and I fancy being in the middle of nowhere. So all of those things are what is required for the next mooring. I wonder how many of those things I'll get ticked off. Love that old barn. Looks like it used to be stables maybe for canal horses. I wonder if the heron realises that it's on grass, not water. It's exciting. Some sort of great big barge doing something right in the middle of the canal. This is Red Rock Leisure Moorings, so you can moor your boat up here if you wish, for a fee. Great view from these moorings though. I like all the different shapes of boats you get to see as you go along. Nice. I moored up in a place called Hay Park, and I met this really interesting old gentleman that told me a story.
Monument, Mabel's Monument on Wigan Lane, and she had to walk barefoot to Mabel's Lane every day in pedals.
It was all about Lady Mabel and why the woods nearby was called Lady Mabel's Wood. The legend of Lady Mabel goes back a very long time to the 13th century. She was the heiress of Hay and Black Rod. Sir William Bradd's Hay married Lady Mabel Norris sometime before 1295. This is Hay Hall as it is now. Back then it was probably made of wood. Legend has it that Sir William Bradd's Hay went off to fight in the Holy Wars, and he was absent for 10 years. Having no news of him, Lady Mabel assumed that he was dead, and she married a Welsh knight. Eventually, Sir William returned home. He was dressed as a pilgrim. When Lady Mabel saw him, she was immediately reminded of her first husband, and she wept openly. Seeing this, the Welsh knight asked her the reason, and when she told him, he hit her. Sir William, however, restrained himself and did nothing. But that night he made himself known to his tenants. Hearing of this, the Welsh knight ran away, but Sir William pursued him and killed him in the deer park at Newton Le Willows. Lady Mabel, as a penance for her bigamy, walked barefoot once a week from Hay Hall to the cross in Standish Gate in Wigan. That cross is known as Mab's Cross. And this walk that we're doing now is kind of following the way that Lady Mabel would have walked. Last night, whilst I was lying in bed, I thought, oh, my boat is rubbing on something. So I got out and I adjusted the lines and I tried to put a tea towel around the chain, thinking that was rubbing on the boat. And then I got dressed properly, got my torch and investigated. It's a toad party next door to my boat. We have one latecomer to the party. That is outrageous. There's at least 3 toads in that little pile. Another one wanting to join the party. Morning all! Very, very short, half-an-hour cruise to the top of the Wigan flight. Staying there tonight, heading down it from 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. 22 locks. Oh, I do love a good lock flight. This was a lovely mooring, but the neighbours are really noisy. They keep falling out and fighting and all sorts. 2 geese are just keeping out of the problems down the canal. They're standing there and watching it all happen. It is lovely round here. Cruising past Lady Mabel's Wood, that side. They promised us sun today. Not seen any yet. Oh well. At least it's not raining. As we come down here, the towpath is being covered in lots of gravel. It's part of the community payback scheme. That's the bridge to Hayes Hall Park. The sound of narrowboating in the spring. You all right, little dog? Yeah? Good girl. Coming up on the outskirts of the town of Wigan. The only thing I know about Wigan at the moment is it's got a pier, even though it's inland. Hoping to see Wigan Pier. No idea what it even looks like. Hello, beautiful. He's all fluffed up defender. You join Charlie, myself, Jen, and a guy called Chris, who is a subscriber that happens to live in Wigan. And I've said, do you want to come and help? And he said, yeah, why not? Bless his cotton socks. So he's at the next lock, getting that all ready for us. We're in the first of 22 locks, the Wigan Flight. Lock 65 done and dusted. Passers-by said, oh, we'll close the gates. That's nice. Heading on to lock 64 or lock number 2, depending on what you want to call it. It's got lock number 3 ready. Now I've got to walk back along the canal to lock number 2, where Wattway, Jen, Chris and Blue Adeline and Charlie and Teddy are all waiting. Absolutely gorgeous mural here. Might be able to see better from the canal though. 2 locks down, heading towards the 3rd. Beautiful, what a beautiful day for a shed load of locks. Look at the green. Everything's going green. That's the hawthorn. Hi! Give us a wave! Lovely.
Morning all.
That's Chris. He's from Wigan and he's our knight in shining armour. It's a good view of a lock sill. That's what you need to make sure the back of your boat doesn't end up sitting on as you go down, because it will just tip you forwards and then your narrowboat becomes a submarine. He's happy in his work.
2.5 miles.
How long is it, Jen?
It is 2.5 miles. Beautiful lock.
2.5 miles. Good Lord. 22 lots in 2.5 miles. We found a Canal and River Trust person who said, do you want a hand? I said, oh yes. Excellent. See this overflow? It went all over Charlie's bed, all over Charlie. She got soaking wet in the last lot. She's not a happy girl. She got wet, she's now shivering. Problem with locks like that, it can swamp your boat. Some Canal and River Trust volunteers. This guy's called Mike.
Yeah.
This is Mike, and that over there
It's John.
is John. Fantastic. We are gonna fly down this. Lock number 732, I think.
1,000,001.
Yeah. Not ideal, just flooded her deck.
I'm starting.
And flooded Jen, it would appear. Our River Trust volunteers everywhere. Painting locks, cutting grass, sorting out towpaths. It's fab. Busy, busy, busy. And helping us with the locks. Fabulous. And now we have 3 CRT volunteers. So Chris is sitting on his laurels. Outrageous. That is the face of a little dog. You can't believe I allowed her to get wet. Another gutter. This is going like clockwork. That's fabulous. This lock is the reason that wide beams can't come down the lock light at the moment, because that gate mustn't open, because if you open it, you can never get it closed. We've got a jolly fierce bywash happening here that will push us over to the other side. Definitely got lots of water. The grass is greener on the other side of the lock gate. Fabulous. Love that. Mother Nature taking over. On the other side of our next lock is called Rose Bridge, and that is very close to Rose School, where Chris used to go to school. So he's helping us down the locks and reliving his childhood on the way. A little bit of wood envy going on there. Excellent. We have an army of CRT people. Lovely. Look at that blue, blue sky. Sunglasses on, not quite shorts. Built in 1974. And here comes Jen.
So they use the canal water as a way to condense the steam, to cool the steam down, to help to give the power to drive the steam engines at Trenterfield Mill, and that's where the mill's right on the canal, and it used the canal water.
And what did the mill make?
Cotton, linen, bed sheets, shirts for the Courtaulds group originally.
Fantastic. Thanks, Chris.
welcome.
What's that on the other side of the hedge, Chris?
That is St Patrick's Amateur Rugby League Football Club. It's a good feeder team for the professional international star players around the world. For Wigan Rugby League, the best rugby league town in the world.
Absolutely. You can tell he was born here, can't you? The walls are leaking. It's like being in a car wash. Wow. That's a leaky wall. Lock 83 down, another 2 on the lock flight. We're actually going to do another 3. I think we're going to moor up somewhere near the Civic Centre and go and look at Wigan Pier and have a beer. Hurrah! Come, Mike and John, still looking fresh as daisies. 20 of the 22 locks. Bless them. Difference of a diesel boat in a tunnel. It's not really a tunnel, more like a bridge. Beautiful. That bridge was built in 1816 on October the 22nd. This is it. We're going down the last lock of the Wigan flight. 22 locks done. That it's taken us 22 out of 22 hours. That's not bad. It's taken us 5 hours. Charlie got hot because of the sunshine, so she's in her shade. And we're gently moving down. And now Chris is taking us out for lunch. Hurrah! Here's a huge thank you to Grumpy Bill and Ian M for the Budweisers they bought me on buymeacoffee.com. As we go round this corner, if you look left, that is where the Bridgewater joins the Leeds and Liverpool Canal.
It's the Lee branch of the Bridgewater Canal. It goes all the way through to Old Trafford in Manchester and on onto the Ashton Canal and then on to Huddersfield if you wish.
Really?